What's up, everyone? In this video, another true crime video. This one, killer implicated in murder of a 20-year-old woman by his cousin. Let's check it out. If you have a family member, seriously, if you had a family member that told you they killed someone, would you stay quiet or would you go to the police? I know what I would do, but
Ben Grassmuck is an officer for the California Highway Patrol. Just before midnight, Grassmuck sweeps his beat, a lonely stretch along Highway 99.
July 4th, 1997.
And when we were still on the freeway, I happened to glance over there and I saw a fire.
Grassmuck follows the flames into a nearby olive orchard. There, he discovers a body.
The torso was on fire, and I could see her, I'll never forget, her two legs sticking up out of the fire towards me.
I hope
I
she
immediately
was...
knew it was a woman, and I immediately knew she'd been murdered.
There was extensive burning to the body. The victim was lying on her back. Her legs were up and open.
There aren't any homes in this area. It's not a widely traveled road here. So to come in here, dump a body, set the fire, very unlikely that you're going to be noticed.
Starr combs the orchard for clues and happens upon some footprints in the dirt.
There were two sets of footprints. One appeared to have been wearing socks. The other was clearly a bare footprint.
The prints and nearby tire tracks are photographed. Meanwhile, at the morgue, the pathologist determines the victim was shot twice in the head. Starr believes the victim was shot dead, then set on fire in an effort to cover up the crime.
We didn't know who the victim was. We weren't going to find out who the suspect was.
Ruth Pimentel has an uneasy feeling. Her best friend, Andrea Bourne, is missing.
Annie called me at 7 and said she was on my way to our house, and she was with Jay, and she never came home. And I think Jay's done something to her.
Jay is J.L. Travis, Andrea's boyfriend, and the last known person to see her alive.
I knew his history, like I knew he was in jail. You know, I knew that he had guns and that he held them to Annie's head in the past, and that she had told me that. So I really...
And he had held them to her head. Is that what she said?
I knew his history, like I knew he was in jail. You know, I knew that he had guns and that he held them to Annie's head.
Let me guess. She said she wanted out. I want to break up with you. And he was like, hell no. If I can't have you, no one's gonna have you. Stupid coward.
In the past, and that she had told me that. So I really thought that something was wrong, and I told that to the police.
They have here is a white female adult in her 20s, 5'9", blue eyes and blonde hair. And that matched the information that we had taken so far on our Jane Doe.
Dental records confirmed the body to be that of Andrea Bourne. In a small interview room, J.L. Travis tells detectives he had nothing to do with Annie's disappearance, insisting he took her to a pool party on the 4th of July, then dropped her safely at home.
Even when he was trying to act as though he was grieving for his lost girlfriend, it was so transparent. It was
Crocodile
almost
tears.
laughable.
Crocodile
how
tears.
little he cared.
Quick question for you. Do you know how much you actually weigh? This might sound crazy, and it's actually a little disgusting, to be honest.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
You had become aware of Annie's involvement with another person. Can you tell me about that?
I had paged her, Because I put I love you in her pager.
You had become aware of Annie's involvement with another person. Oh boy. Yeah, okay.
Then she paid me back. And she told me, don't page her no more because she has a new boyfriend and he don't appreciate me paging her. And I said, oh, I didn't know you had a boyfriend.
I think the victim was going to leave jail, and I think he was having a hard time coping with that. Jealousy makes people do some strange things.
Star then asks her suspect for a look at his feet.
I was looking for anything on his feet that would be consistent with walking out in that orchard. As you can see, we have abrasions in his feet and small puncture wounds, which could very well have been made by the debris in that field.
Along with the abrasions, the size and shape of Travis's feet match up to the bare footprints found in the orchard. With the evidentiary trail heating up, Star decides she wants to examine Travis's car.
We compared the tire tracks, and they didn't match in size or tire impression to what we had at the car.
Killer implicated in murder of a 20-year-old woman by his cousin.
I'm seeing.
After more than 12 hours of questioning, Star releases jail Travis.
We knew we had our guy, and now it was just building the case so that we had enough evidence that we could convince the jury of that. He had mentioned to me that after leaving the pool party and driving Annie home, his cousin Kevin Mitchell was with him. So we went looking for Kevin Mitchell.
Mitchell repeats the same story jail Travis told, save one small detail.
He was the one that initially told us that they were in Tracy Tavares' car. Tracy is JL's other girlfriend. He has 2 children with her. There was no reason to not think that she had been murdered in that car. Even if she had been transported in that vehicle, there would have been trace evidence that would have been left.
Star pays Tracy a visit and asks to see her car.
Her story is, well, I'm sorry, my car was stolen. How convenient that her car is stolen 3 days out.
I've heard that one before. Oh, well, my gun was stolen. That one is a big one. Yeah, I used to own a gun, but it was stolen like 2 days ago.
After Annie's homicide. And that she forgot to mention to us the fact that she had loaned that car to jail that night.
Detectives don't believe Tracy Tavares any more than they believed her boyfriend. Star has Tavares pegged as a jealous and perhaps violent girlfriend.
She wanted Annie out of the way, and we felt that she had the influence over JL that she could make that happen.
Within weeks.
Whoa, wait. I think it's not really her. I think it's JL, the boyfriend, who got like extremely jealous and because Annie was with a new guy and he got jealous and he killed her. I think I put the main this blame on her. I want to hear more details.
Recovered in the garage at Kevin Mitchell's mom's house.
We're thinking, we've got our car. We're going to find the trace evidence in this car. When we searched the car, this car was pristine. It was cleaner than anything you would get off a showroom floor.
Because if Annie left and this black guy, JL, knew it, he probably told this girlfriend or whatever he has 2 kids with, she left me for another guy. What reason would she have to kill this Annie. It's like, okay, she's out of the picture now.
Tracy Tavares' car yields no connections to the murder. After 3 months, Starr gets pulled off the case and onto fresh homicides. Andrea Bourne's murder slips into the cold files, where it will stay for 3 years, until J.L. Travis's cousin, Kevin Mitchell, resurfaces with a story to tell and a finger to point. Vince Zavala is a one-man team working the oldest and toughest cases on the books, the cold cases. Zavala begins the process of re-examining evidence and tracking down leads. 2 months later, he gets his first break. Zavala turns to Tracy Tavares' car. Tavares claimed it was stolen just days after the murder. Police at the time believed the theft report to be bogus. A set of prints lifted from the vehicle, however, provides Zavala with an opportunity.
The prints were recovered during the initial investigation, but they were never compared to anyone. So we compared them to Kevin Mitchell.
The prints belong to Kevin Mitchell, putting him in line for a potential charge of grand theft auto. Unless, of course, Mitchell is willing to talk.
And they were like, well, you're wanted for grand theft auto. And I'm thinking, oh my God. I just started crying, and I was just telling them, look, I'm going to tell you guys the truth.
Mitchell tells Zavala on July 4th, 1997, he went to a pool party, then caught a ride home with Andrea Bourne and J.L. Travis. According to Mitchell, the conversation between Andrea Bourne and J.L. Travis appeared to be normal, until J.L. pulled a gun.
When he had got the gun, and it was close to her head, she tried to move his hand, and she screamed Jay, and then it was too late. I can't stop him.
That was basically the defining moment in the investigation. This pretty much is the last nail. We have a strong circumstantial case,
just like
and now we have a witness to the murder of Andrea.
Jealous.
As Andrea Bourne lay dying in the front seat, Mitchell says J.L. drove out to the olive orchard.
He laid her down and he poured gas around her and then on her and then set it on fire, and we left.
4 days later, Mitchell says, J.L. and Tracy Tavares were back, asking for a favor.
They called me over and they said, Kevin, I want you to get rid of the car. They said, don't worry about nothing, the insurance to take care of it.
You said at some point Tracy gave you the key.
Yeah, she took her key off her key ring and gave me her key.
Mitchell tells Zavala he hid the car at his mom's house, then left town. After 2 years of legwork, Zavala believes his case is made. He has an eyewitness to the murder, and finally, an arrest warrant in hand for J.L. Travis. Detective Zavala brings Travis to the Madera County Sheriff's Office and charges him with murder. J.L. Travis is packed off to jail to await trial. Meanwhile, Zavala turns to the woman he believes to be his accomplice, Tracy Tavares. Zavala books Tavares on insurance fraud for falsely reporting her car stolen. She takes a plea and will serve no time. Kevin Mitchell is never charged with a crime. J.L. Travis, however, does not get off so easy. On February 20th, 2003, he pleads guilty to a charge of second-degree murder and draws 15 years to life.
15 years to life? 15 years? Our judicial system, man. It sends criminals to too much time, and it sends criminals to too less of time that they should be serving more of. I don't know these people, what's going through their minds. I don't get it. But yeah, that's how I this JL guy just got jealous, and Annie told him, I want out, I don't want anything to do with you, and rightfully so. Anyways, peace everyone, take care.